Okay, a little update here. What I've just done, what the always plan was, is because my flow seems to be so good, I was thinking about doing away with my independent line filter, which is this one here. This is the AHEIM 3000 Plus, and my main filter is an FX6 Fluval, which has a theoretical output of 3,500 litres per hour, but I've got me doing it, obviously, of course. And the trouble is with this, when I've got this pump on it, is that it tends to be quite noisy, and I seem to be getting excellent flow just with this filter, with my tank set up with the spray bar and everything. So I was hoping to put the CO2 on that, and I was after a bubble-free tank. That was the aim, so that the tank could be viewed at any time, and not have all that soda appearance of bubbling everywhere. So what I did basically is that I took everything off the FX line, sorry, not off the FX, off the AHEIM line. So it was so that the FX6, everything, the CO2 was going to be added after the filtration. So what I've got this filter coming here, then I've got a bypass fitted here, which comes down, and this was in fact the plan was of this was twofold. One was to take the air when the filter stops, so that any air in it would take it away, and it would take the bulk of the flow. And then we've got this other line which comes down, loads of pipe in here, and then it was going to go through two filters. Okay, we was going to have the inline filters beforehand. I've got 4 set up here for testing purposes. I've got my Alpine Solutions filter boosters here, which I've got 2.5 bags of the bio bottles in. This little product here, which they are pretty tight. I might take about half a bag out to allow a little bit of movement, and I have kept on the bottom only the little plate underneath, so it's got that underneath, so it's coming down there. Now when I was doing my little tank clean-up yesterday, I had a little accident. The CO2 fell over and I broke one of the little exits off here, and I managed to find one online elsewhere from RS, so I've got one of them in order. So it left me a bit of a quandary. I've been running my tests, but actually it's worked out to my advantage, because what I found is that what I've did initially, the JBL inline diffusers tend to drop the pH quicker, very quicker than these I found out in the past. But when I was testing the other day, when I had the up inline diffusers on, I was still getting a mist in the tank, but that's when I didn't have this bypass fitted. So with this bypass, the flow was restricted here. I was also concerned that with having a bypass, the pressure within here wouldn't be enough, so I might not get the CO2 uptakes as good. So it is a bit of a dual-edged sword, and I wanted to test it to find out what it was going to do. So anyway, after I broke my needle valve yesterday, I stuck it on, and it all worked, and it worked fine on one, and that was with the JBL. So it got me thinking, so how are these up inline atomizers going to do? So this morning I got up, and before the normal photo period, I got it all running. I had pH round about 7.4 initially, and I've just put the one on. I've put it on a very high bubble rate, which is kind of like typical for what I tend to run the tank on, to get the 500 litre tank, to get the pH drop, so that I've got the CO2 concentration for the plants. And when I ran this the other day, I was getting a lot of bubbles in the tank with this one fitted. So I was quite curious to see, with this reduced flow, would I still get the bubbles? And the tank's a bit cleaner today because I did a clean up yesterday, and there's not a bubble in sight. The only time I get any bubbles in sight at the moment is when the twin star kicks on. So that was a nice result. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to still get the soda stream effect there. So a little accident has turned out to my little advantage in a way, because now I can run either of these, and now I'm a bit of a quandary which ones to fit in. Still a bit more testing to do. pH drop at the moment is, let's just go around there, 6.87. It's been on about an hour, so that's not bad. But kick off pH is around about 6.8 at the moment. I've got it set slightly higher than what I normally have it around about 6.6 because of these little critters. I don't know if you can see them in here. You can see those two little snails, some Theos, one's there, one's down here. They tend to be quite pH sensitive, so I've increased the pH a little while they are hopefully acclimatised, so I can get those nitrile snails acclimatised. But crystal clear, and as you can see, you know what I mean, we've got a lot of bubbles going in there, a lot of CO2 being pumped in. I'm torn between which inline atomizers to use. I do like the JBL ones, because the advantage of the JBL ones is that I can do away with a bubble counter because they've got their integral bubble counter on them, and therefore I can just slip my pipe straight into that 6mm fit in there, and it works nicely. I'm still getting a bit of air in the reactor, but probably not as much with the UP atomizers. I'll post back later.